Alright, so today I'm actually going to talk about some stuff that the actual developers of the game have been talking about already and the stuff that they are bringing out to the game. So, like I said on the channel before, I will be still covering the news for Grand Cross as much as possible whenever there's like big stuff happening or just summons and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys want to see that. So, let's talk about this stuff right now. They did announce this 2 days ago. I just kind of forgot about talking about it. But it's basically still gonna make sense to talk about it anyway, because it's gonna be units that are coming out. So as you see, Mikasa is there. So essentially what that means is that they already announced it, that the AOT collab is coming. So basically Global is gonna get this same way that JP just got it. So you're gonna basically know that there's 3 units that will be coming out: Eren, Mikasa, and Levi. So what that means for me is, am I gonna summon, or should you be saving, or anything like that? Those are the things that will matter about today's video. So hopefully you guys do listen to what I say, my opinion on it and stuff like that. So obviously there's a lot of stuff that will be coming out. The world quest stuff will be new heroes, and obviously you're gonna be seeing the Titan elimination. All the stuff that you're seeing on JP is gonna be on Global, so keep in mind. The Titan stuff, I don't know how I feel about it, really. I think it's just a little too early for this part, but I think it should be fine with the team that you can run with. So we'll see how that goes. And then obviously just like the video that was out here. So now one thing I want to say is congrats to every single content creator that did go for the season 2 for the content creator program. I am obviously on that list because I've been on it before, and obviously I create the content for this game. So congrats to everyone that's on here. Big shout out to them, and let's go ahead and continue. So another thing I want to say is, because there is stuff coming along, there is going to be special events coming for this game, where if you retweet their tweet, the actual 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross Twitter, you will be getting these rewards. But I doubt we'll ever get to that many retweets, because a lot of people have been quitting the game, so definitely not seeing that. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the units. Now, the reason why this matters a lot to me is because there's 3 units coming out that will be summonable, which will be Eren, Mikasa, and Levi. And then after that, I have a feeling that they're just going to be announcing the biggest units that we have in the game, which are going to be Darriere, Estarossa, and then the last one would be Lost Vein Meliodas. So this is what's going to happen to me. I personally am trying to go full free to play with the game, and that's what's going to matter the most for me. So I'm going to be basically more based on just PvP gems and daily logins and stuff like that. So if the game is going to announce units like these 3, I personally will summon, just because 1, they are units that won't come back, and then 2, because they could be really good for the meta on global version. So like Eren is actually a really good unit, and he has a transforming card. So we are finally getting a transforming unit ever on global, so that's actually really good. But essentially what he does is that he has the first skill card just like Green Escanor, where he gets a ultimate gauge depending on the rank up he's doing. That actually is really good, so you can get his ultimate really fast. His second skill actually disables ultimate moves, so that's super good. I actually like that card, and it's an attack all. So Eren is actually really good. I think he's actually the better unit out of the 3, but I could be wrong. Then his ultimate transforms into the Titan form. If you have multiple dupes, then you will be getting a higher percentage for the stats. So when he transforms into Titan form, he increases attack related, defense related, and HP related stats by 10% for 5 turns. Decreases enemies attack related stats by 30% for 1 turn. And then for the 10% for 5 turns, it goes up to 35% whenever you get to dupe 6. So that's really good to keep that in mind. His passive for him and his own form, he increases damage by 10% for each ultimate move gauge orb the hero has. So the more ultimate gauge orbs he has, the more damage he will be doing, which is why I think he's the better unit out of the other 2. But that's just me. Now his passive for his Titan form is immune to ultimate move disabling effects, so he can't be disabled, so he can get his ultimate regardless, which is really, really good. But his Titan form, what's cool about it is when he transforms from his normal form to his Titan form, all the cards you have for your first card or second card for his original form, they all transform into his Titan form, which is actually really helpful. So his first skill attack is an Amplify. So Amplify is the same way how Red Escanor card works. You're just going to do a lot more damage based on how much buffs he has on himself. So if you're running like, Arthur, which would be really good most likely, if you're running Red Arthur, then this could be really, really good. So Amplify is a really big deal in my opinion, so I love to see Amplify cards. Second one depletes ultimate gauge orbs, which is really good, and he attacks all, so that's actually nice to see. And then his ultimate is going to do 840% of attack on one enemy, so you don't see as much of his ultimate compared to doing his other cards, because normally his ultimate will run, or not his ultimate, but his actual like form, his transformation technically runs out really fast, because if you're running into like a Merlin or someone who can take away ultimate gauge orbs, then it's kind of annoying. But that is Aaron for his first card. That's the summonable one. There is a second version. This is the SR one. Essentially, this should be a full 6/6 free to play one, so you can get him like fully maxed out easily. And I think he's actually one of the best units for this collab, because reasons why is because one, he cancels stances, which is good because that's going to be helpful, especially if you're going to be fighting, I believe, Esterosa's at one point, or if you're going to be fighting like Green Meliodas or anyone that has a stance on them. So could be really good for that. We'll definitely see whenever that happens. Then of course the second skill is, this is actually how Dairy Aries card is. If you guys don't know, Red Dairy Airy has that same exact card, so it's actually nice that they're putting it on SR Aaron, so we'll see how he works. Definitely do videos and stuff like that, so keep in mind for that. Now his ultimate inflicts shatter, so that's actually good. Same way how King works. I believe it King, yeah, ignores resistance, so he does 630% damage. But then his passive increases damage dealt to unknown race by 30%. So especially units like Demon Meliodas, which they're unknown race, or Gother or Merlin, they're all unknown race. That could be really, really good. So let's keep that in mind. That's going to be very fantastic to see for damage wise. So Aaron, SR Aaron, could be very, very, very good. So let's go into to the next unit, Levi. So Levi was the actual unit I wanted out of all of the collabs, because it's Levi. Like you really want him just because of that reason. So I think he's the best unit in my opinion out of the collab units, because of how his card works. So Spike is one of the things that he has. Spike is obviously going to be a 2x crit damage increase. It's the same way that Green Jericho's ult works. So the spike damage, which can do a lot of damage. So that's good enough to know there. His second skill is Despair. Despair is the same way that Blue Zeldris works. So if you keep that in mind, then you will be seeing some pretty good damage from the card itself. And then Despair recovers 15% of diminished HP when critical hit occurs. So if he crits, he's gonna basically be self-sufficient on his health, which is gonna be really good. So we'll see how that works whenever that happens. And then he attacks all, so that's good to know there. His ultimate cancels buffs and stances on one enemy and inflicts damage equal to 630% of attack. I believe that's the same exact way how Red Hellbrom, I think Red Hellbrom, and I think it's Gustav, the way that they work. So I'm not too sure exactly, but I think that's exactly how that works for that. His passive, this hero will always crit against enemy that has the lowest leftover HP ratio. So that is basically whoever has the lowest HP on the team, he's gonna crit them. So that's actually good. I mean, the only thing I don't understand is whenever the enemy has like HP of the same levels for each unit. I'm not sure how that works, but we'll see whenever we go ahead and play in PvP for Global's version. But this says applies when there is only one enemy. Also applies when all enemies have the same HP ratio. Okay, so basically he's going to crit whatever's the lowest no matter what. Now, Mikasa. I don't know how I feel about Mikasa, but people say that she is the best unit based off of longevity. So the reason why is because her passive. So essentially, for each other ally that received damage when attacked, increase the hero's stat by 3%, and its limit 10 times. So that's 30% boost if the fight goes longer. So her first skill attack is a debuff. So what she does is that she inflicts bleed. So she does the damage, but she also inflicts bleed, which is going to be good for longevity. So she can do damage that way. So that's cool with her first skill. Her second skill is a secret technique. It's the same way Lost Vein Melee works. It is basically, and she's an attack all. So all of them have an attack all card, which is good. But the secret technique is a increased damage dealt by 20% per this hero's skill card in hand. So the more cards you have in your hand, the more damage she will be doing. It's the same way how Lost Vein Meliodas works. Then ultimate increases the hero's basic stats by 50% for 3 turns and inflicts 420% of attack on one enemy. So I think that's exactly how the blue Gallon card works. I think that, yeah, basic stats should be like that. So out of them, the 3, I personally think Levi is the strongest out of them. But if you put it in the longest longevity way, then Mikasa should be the best. But we'll see whenever they come out, and we'll see how it goes. Now, the thing is, if you don't summon right? And if you aren't like going anything crazy with this banner and you don't get them, then I would say start saving all your gems, because personally, out of the 3 units that will be coming out, which will be Essarosa, Dairy, and Lost Vein Meliodas, Lost Vein Meliodas is going to be the best unit you want to save for, because he is the best unit in the game for PvP, for farming. His passive is insane. All that stuff is crazy. So out of these other units like Dairy and Essarosa, I agree, to my own opinion, that Meliodas is the best unit in the game. And I say this right now, save for him, because he is going to be really low rates. So the more gems you have, the better chance you have of pulling at him. Dairy and Essarosa is a coin shop unit, so I'll get him from there whenever he's put into there. Dairy will be a unit I will try getting from the ticket banner whenever that happens, whenever she's put in there, because I don't think it's as useful compared to getting Meliodas, in my opinion. But Essarosa is amazing, so hopefully you guys just save for him and not pull on a banner if he's put into a banner, and just get him from the coin shop. Dairy might be a unit you might want to summon for. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But Meliodas is 100% the best unit to get, because he's just insane. His passive is the best passive in the game, in my opinion. He increases skill ranks of the hero if the hero receives critical damage on the enemy's turn, which you will most likely get critted many times, especially in PvP. If you're fighting someone who is an AoE attacker, they essentially crit more than people assume it to be. So that basically just ranks him up. So it's essentially doing Gother's job by itself. So it's really good. So yeah, hopefully you guys are excited for all the AOT collab coming out to global. It comes out July 21st. So if you guys don't have gems, or if you guys have gems, then it's up to you to summon. I personally think you should not summon if you are a free to play, and just summon with whatever gems you have, I guess. But if you are summoning, then just try to pull for them. If not, then save all your gems, because they're not going to be as useful as you think. If you wanted the longevity of this game, go for units like Lost Vein Melee or Dairy and stuff like that. But for the other units, I mean, if you are a collector of the game, then go for them. If not, then just save. I personally am going to go for them because they are a collecting base, and that's what I'm going for. But after that, I'm going to be saving for most likely Lost Vein Meliodas, because I don't care for Dairy right now at this point. And then Essarosa is obviously a coin shop unit. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.